Hello everybody, we're going to have a talk this afternoon. Very, very important video to share. We just had our CPAC go live with two members of the Privy Council for Justin Trudeau, where they tell us all that they're amending the Canada Elections Act. In fact, they've already gone out and done that. I've talked about this Privy Council, Ordering Council. I've talked about Governor General and Lieutenant Governor, some pretty detailed posts, but I want you all to understand it like this, why it's important to share. You've heard the term 338. Last election, we all elected our MP representatives of each and every constituency here in Canada. 338 of them, from one end of Canada to the other. What Privy Council is basically the Prime Minister saying, hey, you know what? Instead of going to each and every MP to develop legislation in his government, minority government, meaning going to the people you elected who are legislators, he's going to use a crown power called the Privy Council in the name of the Queen. Although the Queen knows nothing of it, she hasn't been involved in any kind of crown use of power since 1952. The King, he's dead now, but in 1952, he abolished all that. That's what the UN gave us. They said there's no more crown, there's no more going out and having all these countries under your umbrella. They all get sovereignty right now. They're governed unto themselves. That was the deal. That's the law of sovereignty. And UK had to respect that. They were devastated after World War II. USA had saved their butts. Same with France. They were all devastated. USA designed this system. Moving on, World War II, 1948. Canada's old constitution, which has been around since 1867, gives that old power of crown. However, it's been abolished since 1948. There is no queen running our country or any of these things that they tell you, the people. So what people like Justin Trudeau, Stephen Harper before him, are doing is tricking all of you, thinking that you've elected these officials, but they're going to use the Queen's Privy Council that was designed pre-1948, doesn't exist anymore. It's their way of saying, hey, you know what? MPs now don't have to answer to their constituents, even though you elected them to represent you and legislate. That's what an MP and an MLA are. They're elected to legislate laws for you because you've elected them to do that. However, prime ministers and premiers elect to use Ordering Council. Federally, they use Privy Council whenever they don't want to have to deal with the majority, deal with constituents. They toss you all to the side, meaning our majority here in Canada, and elect to decide who gets to present a bill, and they're going to do it in the name of the Queen. They roll it out without anybody's knowledge. Just caught them today. Just saw another Ordering Council amending our Canada Elections Act, everybody. What that act does, everybody, is now we're going to get 5 million more mail-in ballots upon elections. They're going to have multiple polling days, even worse than what we just watched US do. They're talking about 3 polling days. 5 million out of 38 million Canadian mail-in ballots. You can see that there's a fraud here, that you could look, and if you're losing in those polls as they're tabulating, you could have poll watchers watching, seeing the lists as they're going through them of who doesn't vote, which is a majority of Canadians who don't vote. And a party can steal those votes, those voting lists, a list of electors who haven't registered vote, and all of a sudden, miraculously, ballots come from those who traditionally never vote. The open end to fraud is literally limitless here. 5 million mail-in ballots, extra voters. You can certainly change an election. Look how many people participated in Canada's last election. It's considerably massive. It's probably doubling the vote count. I guarantee you the Liberals will never be out of power ever again. Ultimately, elections will only be Upper and Lower Canada. Predominantly Upper Canada, you might as well say Ontario decides all elections going forward. That's what this mail-in balloting is going to do. What we just witnessed in the States is going to be expanded tenfold. I've put the video right here on my Facebook for all of you to watch. The link's there. It's right before, not this video right before, but the one before that. I gave you the live feed from CPAC. If it needs to be reloaded, give it a minute, it'll be there. I don't even know if this video is going to last. My last video right now is in La La Land with Facebook. Obviously, it's taken 6 to 8 hours for them to process my video, scrambling to find experts to myth bust or dispel what I've presented to everybody. I went way out on a limb in the last video. I stated some pretty serious things that I've already put out on YouTube before. I did that for the state of California, and for the first time I went live on Facebook with it in not a closed political forum. I went live. So I don't know, I can't see USA liking that, but as Ralph Klein had once said, let the Eastern bastards freeze in the dark. Well, in 2020, let's let all the bastards freeze in the dark. You want a Green New Deal? You want to take from Albertans? You want to just brutalize Albertans and transfer that much wealth in a globalist socialist reset? We can just shut off the taps. That's reality. We can get a premier to go ahead and do that. Shut them all down, and you watch the reality of that. Got to be careful what I say, because I don't want this video getting squished here either, and maybe it will be. But what I've told you here with Privy Council is exactly what it is. Whether it's Lieutenant Governor in a province or it's Governor General federally, this is the secret backdoor double dealing that absolutely takes away all your democratic rights in Canada and usurps your constitution. Many prime ministers do it. Many premiers do it. We're living with one right now, Jason Kenney, and we're living with one now federally, Justin Trudeau. Now, I'm sure every province has it too. I just don't have the resources or time to do that tremendous amount of reading and research to complete every province. I just don't. I'm sorry. It's all about Alberta for me, because that's my home province, and that's what we're getting forward. Check it out, everybody. It's all real. It's absolutely 100% real. Get this shared out. Learn the truth as it's being done to you right now. What happened in the U.S. is minor compared to what they're doing in Canada right now. And there's no crying to your MP or complaining, because it's conveniently Privy Council and Order in Council. Your MP gets to go, I wasn't involved in it. It was the Queen's Privy Council. Well, what's the Queen? Oh, the Prime Minister, I mean. Sorry. They can't even tell you the truth. They've been lying in mass for many decades to each and every Canadian. You guys have no idea just how undemocratic Canada really is. The world doesn't even know, but they're going to know as I rip through all 193 nations, as I get us to the Queen, and I get us right to the UK Parliament. And the best of all of it is the UNSC Binding 5. We're gonna get to them too, and I have that coded email. Going to get to our 200, and I will get that video. I guess it's going to be tomorrow. It's just been one hell of a week for me. Some of it's my own fault, but just some of it is just exceptional work. And of course, stuff like today where the government just goes too damn far. Each and every day it just keeps coming and coming and coming. But I guarantee all of you, with what the Liberals are doing, we are never going to see another fair election ever again in this country. It can all be usurped and frauded away. That's reality in massive number. You have an election, you have a day. If you can't get all your votes in that day, what does that tell you? Why would you need multiple polling days for an election? Why would you need 5 million mail-in ballots? If people don't care enough to get off their ass to get down to a polling station, there's something wrong here. And why would the government want to implement that unless it's to massively fraud the people? You're already being scammed by this Privy Council, Ordering Council, Governor General, Lieutenant Governor. This is the reality of your provinces and the Canadian system. And it just goes on and on. It's sick, perverse. We need to act as India did and many other Commonwealth countries to end this sick abuse. Canada, you're the last ones to address it. Jamaica addressed it. India addressed it. That's a third world country coming into a better system here after many decades. And here we are, last in line, going, geez, I don't know why the world's so unfair. We create our own reality, and if we don't move on it, we're going to be stuck last, dead last, and you're going to let tyrants run you into the ground. Thanks. Please share.